My name is Terry Watanabe. I unfortunately don't have the funds to survive. I'm almost homeless.
This man once had millions of dollars, but now he's almost bankrupt. In 2007, things took a turn worse for him. He lost a huge $127 million at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, making him one of the city's biggest gamblers ever. Over his lifetime, he's lost nearly $204 million. He's also known as the guy who spent a big part of the money at Caesars Palace Casino. He is also the favorite person for casinos because casinos are making 1/5 of money alone from him. So who is this guy? How did he lose all of his money? This is the crazy true story of Terrance Watanabe, a man who's known for his gambling, getting into trouble with the law, casinos, and many more. Terrance Watanabe was born in 1957 in Omaha, Nebraska. His father, Harry Watanabe, started the Oriental Trading Company, which is one of the first wholesale companies which was established in the U.S. Terrance started working for his dad when he was just 15. By the time he was 20, he became the CEO. Under his leadership, the company started focusing more on party products. They went from having 17 stores to making $25 million every month. He grew the company to over $300 million in revenue annually. But on the other hand, achieving this success required a lot of sacrifices. Terrance had to give up a lot of his time and energy, often traveling for months to Asia to check on suppliers. The Oriental Trading Company wasn't just a business to him. It was his whole life. When Terrance was 43 years old, he decided to sell his part of the company. He eventually sold it in October 2000 for an undisclosed amount of money. After this, he wanted to have a retirement that was both enjoyable and focused on helping others. Mr. Watanabe said his plan was to get involved in charity work and make sure he also had a lot of fun. He told his local newspaper, the Omaha World-Herald, in 2000, that if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Then he created the Terry K. Watanabe Charitable Trust and gave lots of money to help fight diseases like AIDS and cancer, and also to support important political causes. But even though he did good things, he didn't feel happy. Watanabe had worked really hard for more than 20 years in a complicated business, and this new way of helping didn't bring him much joy. Even though his charity grew and grew, he felt like something was missing. He tried starting other businesses, like a restaurant, but none of them worked out. Then Watanabe once went to the US and tried gambling just for fun. Watanabe began gambling at Harrah's Council Bluffs in Iowa. Before long, his attention turned to Las Vegas. It's safe to say that Terrance Watanabe did not play it safe when it came to his gambling. In total, it is claimed that he lost well over $204 million gambling in just a few years, making him one of the biggest Las Vegas whales in history. In Las Vegas, there was a famous guy named Steve Wynn who owned a big casino, and Watanabe went to Wynn's casino in 2006. Watanabe has also started drinking, and he is not drinking the normal one. He always drinks Jewel of Russia, which is expensive. He always drinks at the casino table. He did the same thing in the Wynn casino, and he ended up losing a huge $21 million. This caught the attention of Wynn, who personally called Watanabe and asked him to leave his casino. After that, a letter from Steve Wynn's lawyer was sent to the Nevada Gaming Control Board. It was claimed that Watanabe was banned from the Wynn Las Vegas due to being a gambling addict and alcoholic. Nevada Gaming Control Board rules state that it's illegal for a casino to allow intoxicated and abusive people to carry on gambling. Watanabe simply left Wynn's casino and went to Caesars Palace, which is where his troubles really began. Caesars went all out to make Watanabe feel super special in Las Vegas. After all, he managed to lose a whopping $127 million in just 1 year at a single casino. That's a big chunk of the company's gambling money. To keep Watanabe happy and gambling, Caesars didn't hold back. They gave him a fancy 3-bedroom place to stay at Caesars for free. Plus, they handed him $2,500 every month to cover his flights. On top of that, they gave him a crazy $500,000 to spend at their stores. And if he wanted a break from gambling, he got VIP tickets to all the coolest shows and concerts in town. It was like a big show of luxury and excitement, all to keep Watanabe hooked on the thrill of Vegas. In the world of casinos, Watanabe was always there, gambling away 24 hours a day. He'd get fancy meals brought to him while he played, and assistants made sure he always had plenty to drink. But despite spending so much time there, Watanabe didn't really know how to play the games where you could actually win. He mostly stuck to slot machines and roulette, where the odds were never in his favor. Sometimes he tried blackjack, but he wasn't very good at it and ended up losing a lot. As he kept losing, the casinos gave him more and more credit to keep playing. But even for someone as rich as Watanabe, there's only so much money you can lose before it runs out. By the end of 2008, he gambled so much that he ended up losing all his money. He had to keep asking his sister for financial help. When he realized he'd spent over $200 million in casinos, he decided to take responsibility. Watanabe went to a rehab center in Omaha to get better and quit his gambling and alcohol addiction. The rehab center tried their best to help Watanabe for months, aiming to free him from his gambling and alcohol habits. Sadly, their efforts didn't pay off. Even after leaving the center, Watanabe continued to battle his addiction. After he was released from the rehab center, Caesars Entertainment filed a lawsuit against Watanabe for failing to settle the remaining losses accumulated during his gambling sessions at their casinos. In response to the lawsuit, Watanabe claimed that Caesars had agreed to refund 30% of his losses but failed to follow through. Watanabe also alleged that the casino plied him with alcohol and painkillers in an effort to keep him gambling, which is against the violating of gaming rules. Watanabe pleaded not guilty against charges that could have resulted in him going to prison for a minimum of 28 years. He filed his own lawsuit to prove the casino workers did take advantage of him and his infamous gambling addict status. The senior vice president of communications for Caesars claimed that the civil lawsuit was not effective and simply failed to save Watanabe from paying the debt he owed. Watanabe's case was due in court in 2010, but it never made it there. Instead, a private agreement was drafted 2 weeks prior to the court date, where charges on both sides were dropped and no money was exchanged. The Gaming Control Board in Nevada reported that they would still be carrying out an investigation to see if Caesars Entertainment broke any legal gambling rules to confirm Watanabe's accusations. Lastly, in March 2013, Caesars Entertainment Corp. Got a big fine of $225,000 from New Jersey gaming regulators for not preventing Watanabe from gambling while intoxicated. Though he had lost his fortune, the good news for Watanabe was that his family remained on his side. He admitted how much he had lost to his brother and sister over Thanksgiving in 2007. A couple of weeks later, he returned with his sister to Omaha and entered a treatment facility. After that, Watanabe never entered a casino again. Now the main question is, where is Terrance Watanabe now? Fast forward to 2017 and Terrance Watanabe had largely stayed out of the news, but some misfortune had struck.
My name is Terry Watanabe. I've been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
He opened a GoFundMe fundraiser in July 2017 for medical illness and healing-related reasons. Terry has prostate cancer and requires a surgery that will cost $100,000. He has hit hard times since losing at the casino and cannot afford the surgery. He is not looking for pity and is simply asking for help, something he probably should have done when gambling. He also said in his GoFundMe campaign that, "I've accepted my situation and I do not pity myself, but my hope is that you will find it in your heart to forgive me for my past and help me live long enough to help others in the future." Some people might say, well, he was rich but wasted it all on gambling, so he deserves his bad luck. But that's not fair. Nobody should suffer because of poor health. If you look closely at what people are saying about him, you'll see a different side. They talk about how kind he was with his money. He didn't just spend it on himself, he gave millions to help others.
I had a multi-million-dollar toy company which provided fun, laughter, and smiles to children all over the world. During that era, I also was able to donate millions to charities like the University of Nebraska Medical Center, medical research for breast cancer, and for HIV. I realized that through bad decisions and unfortunate circumstances, I've lost my entire fortune.
Gambling addiction can happen to anyone, rich or poor. Terrance Watanabe, known for his generosity, struggled with this problem. Terry's campaign failed to meet its target of $100,000, and as of writing, the total raised so far is $28,610. The campaign is still open for donations. Wait. Before you go, make sure you watch the crazy story of the man who pulled off America's biggest cash robbery, which is filled with suspense, thriller, and many more.